Good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss the next part in the module 4, that is formwork. So in this one we are going to discuss about formwork, scaffolding, shoring, underpinning. So these concepts we are going to discuss. This will come under the module 4. Okay, this is in the module 4. Now when you see what is the formwork, generally what idea in your mind it will come. Okay, formwork is one structure, supportive structure, it's called as a supportive structure, is given to concrete when it is a fresh state. Okay, so during fresh state concrete is not solid, no, not, it is not get not it get hard. So it will be to maintain its shape, to maintain its size, to maintain its dimension, a supporting structure. This may be horizontal, this may be vertical also. Okay, this may be inclined also. So supporting structure which acts as one mold. So this type is called as molds. These are called as molds. This may be steel, this may be wood, this may be combination, this may be plywood, this may be anything which supports the concrete, which supports the concrete during its fresh stage, during its fresh stage until it gets hard. Then we are going to remove this one, then we are going to remove this one. Once it is sufficiently got hard, then we can remove it easily. Okay, so removing of formwork is called as stripping. It is called as the stripping, very important word. So for walls stripping is timing is different. Okay, so when stripping is to be conducted, when it is sufficiently hard. Okay, now there are different timings for stripping of the elements. For walls maybe 3 days, for slabs maybe 20 days, for columns maybe 7 days, for beams maybe 21 days. So like this different stripping times are mentioned in Indian Standard Code. Okay, now first point we have understood that formwork is a supportive structure which supports the concrete during its fresh stage until it's got hard, and after sufficient strength reaching, the formwork can be removed, and the removing of formwork is called as stripping of the formwork. And there will be different timings, means what, after so many days only we have to remove the formwork. Before, if we remove the formwork, then concrete is still fresh state, maybe it has not got sufficient strength, then concrete may get damaged, concrete may get damaged. Now after understanding the definition and brief introduction, so here in this one we can see this is a typical wall, no, wall of a dam, you can say wall of a dam. So similarly we have so many other types of formwork for different types of elements. Okay, now you can see the definition here. Formwork or shuttering, it is called by shuttering also. It is a temporary construction. Temporary construction molds. It is in the form of molds. Molds means what? Inside you can put or something can be filled inside. So these are called as molds. So in which concrete is placed and concrete get hard. Okay. So generally the cost of formwork may be 20 to 25%. Very important cost. Okay. So that is why the whatever materials you are using in the formwork, no, those should be strong and it can be used repetitively. If you are using repetitively for next structure, then it will be economical. Okay, so the cost of formwork around generally 20 to 25% of the total structure. Okay, still it may be still higher, maybe up to 30% or 40% in bridge construction, in bridge construction. Okay, now, when concrete has reached certain required strength, concrete has reached certain required strength, then only formwork is removed. Then only this formwork is removed. Okay. So the operation of removing the formwork is known as stripping. It is known as stripping. After the stripping, the formworks are reused. So it can be used for other building parts. Okay, other building parts. There are two types. One is panel form, another is stationary form. Panel means they can be reused again and again. Stationary means once they have used for one structure, they cannot be used for other structures. Okay, so this is about panel forms can be reused so many times. Stationary forms only one time used. Okay. So now we will go to the diagram part. We will understand different components. So this is a typical what you can say diagram for panel type of formworks. This is a typical for panel type of form. So this for wall it can be used one part. After hardening of this one, these panels are removed from that position and again it can be fixed in another position. So that is why we have written it can be reused several times. It can be reused several times. Generally panel forms are in the shape of rectangle or square. Okay, so here the joining assembly can be made. Joining things can, all the apparatus can be used here. Okay, fixing of nut bolts, clamps will be there, supporting structures will be there. These are typical example for panel type of formwork. So this is a diagram or a picture of a live picture for a construction of some building is there. Construction of some exterior wall building is there. Directly the concrete is poured. So here you can use, this is not in the form of panel. This is in the form of irregular shape. So it is called as stationary forms. It is called as stationary forms. These are made for individual and these are non-standard members. Means what? Only one time we can use. These are called as non-standard members or structures which can be used, which cannot be used for other structural members, which cannot be used for other structural members. So this type of shape will not get, no, so it cannot be removed at all. Okay, so once it is fixed and afterward stripping the pan, this type of formwork members cannot be used where other places, only one time they are used. Okay, so generally formworks are classified depending upon the material used in the formwork itself. Okay, so we have wooden type of formwork, plywood, steel, combined wood and steel. Okay, reinforced concrete panels itself can be used as a formwork and plain concrete. So many types are there. Okay, now next wooden. So if you see this diagram, you'll understand wooden or timber formwork. Can you see this one? All are wooden. So this is a wooden formwork for column construction. This is a wooden formwork for beam construction. Beam and column both are there. Okay, both are there. So you generally have, this is for another beam. So you generally have wooden planks. What I am marking, no, these are called as wooden planks. So these are called as battens or members, some members. So these are called as battens, wooden battens or wooden members or runners. So this element is called as runner. Okay, so try to understand. Battens are thin sheets. Sorry, planks are thin sheets which are running continuously. Okay, to fix them you have wooden planks, wooden members. Okay, wooden members, a rectangle shape in the cross section, and you have inclined members also. These are called as generally struts. Struts are supporting members. Okay, these are called as struts or supporting members. Try to understand. Okay, now here this is a one circular wooden timber or wooden formwork. Okay, so now you can see why timber is famous. It is most common material. It is most common material. What is the main disadvantage of wooden formwork? So generally it has a possibility of warping. Warping is nothing but disorientation of its shape. Means what? It is getting out of the shape. If it is a pure horizontal, after using it may deform somehow. It may deform due to usage. Okay, so that is the main disadvantage. So it may warp, it may swell. Swell means what? Increase in the size. Shrink means what? Decrease in the size. Okay, so that is the main disadvantage of using timber. Okay, so sometimes these defects can be rectified. How they can be rectified? By applying water impermeable coatings. Water impermeable coatings, where you are generally applying inside. You are applying inside of this member, inside of this member, inside of this member, when before fixing only. Why this is going to be shrink? Why this is going to enlarge or swell? Because when concrete is poured, concrete contains moisture or water. So at that time moisture will come in contact with this timber piece, and when timber is in contact with water, obviously it is going to swell or it is going to shrink. So it will be disoriented in shape. So to avoid contact of water, the inside surface is coated with impermeable membrane. Impermeable membrane generally oil, grease or something like that, which is impermeable. So that is generally applied all the inside surface, all the inside surface. So that can be control the defects, that can somehow control the defects. This coating also prevents the shuttering from adhering to the concrete and hence make stripping easier. Hence make stripping easier. What is happening? If you are applying grease inside surface, grease to the inside surface, what will happen? Concrete will not stick to the surface. Concrete will not stick to the wooden surface. So that time when you are removing, no, that time it can be removed very easily. So removing of this formwork after concrete hardens, after concrete got hardened, that removing procedure is called as stripping of the formwork. So this stripping is very important. It should not be done in a careless manner. Very carefully you should remove one piece by one, like that should remove one by one. Okay. Now come to the steel formwork. If you see the diagram, then it will be easy. Steel formwork will give very smooth finish. Assembling these formwork pieces is also very easy, and de-shuttering is also very easy. Means what? Stripping is also easy compared to the wooden formwork. But main thing is these are costly. This may lead to rusting or corrosion. Two disadvantage. One is costly, second is rusting or corrosion may takes place. How to overcome? What is the main advantage of this one? These are very strong. These are very strong, such that this can be used several times compared to timber. Reusage is very high in steel. Okay. Now here you can see steel shuttering is a major. It is used as a major work. So many advantage, it is having many advantage. It can be put for high number of users. Means what? Reusage may be more than timber formwork. Stripping is very easy in this case. You can deassemble them very easily, and it will give very easy, even and smooth concrete surface. Even and smooth concrete surface. So it possesses great rigidity. Means what? Strength is good. Strength is high. It is not liable to shrink or distortion because it is very rigid. It will not get what is that, swelling or shrinkage. The only disadvantage is it is costly. It is costly and it is going to be rusted. Okay. Okay, this is an example for steel formwork for wall, for RCC wall. It is for RCC wall. Okay. So this is another steel formwork for RCC wall. So here steel members are also used, wooden members are also used. So here the name is given combined wood and steel. It is given as combined wood and steel. Combined wood and steel. Here what is there? The panels are made up of steel. Here can you see? Panels are made up of steel. The other members such as this supporting members 1, 2, 3 are made up of wood or timber, are made up of wood and timber. Can you see here? Clamps, nut bolt clamps. So these can be used. So here some pieces are made up of wood. Can you see? Some pieces are made up of wood. This is a combination. Okay. So what are the requirement of good farmer? Very important question from the exam point of view. Very important. What are the requirements of good farmer? The material of the formwork should be cheap and it should be suitable for reuse several times. Whatever material you are selecting, no, that should be very cheap and it can be used for several times. Reusage quantity should be very high. It should be practically waterproof so it does not absorb water from concrete. Okay, that is what we are telling now, applying the impermeable membrane. It should be waterproof. It should be waterproof, and it should not absorb water from concrete, and it should not shrink, and it should not get swelled. Okay, it should be strong enough to withstand all the loads coming on it, such as dead load of concrete, live load during the pouring of concrete, and compaction. If you see this diagram, you'll understand. So here what is happening during the construction process, this should be very very strong. Whatever the formwork you are using, no, that should be very very strong, such that the people are walking, no, on this one sometimes. Why? Because concrete is poured inside. Here concrete is poured. Here concrete is poured after fixing the formwork. So that is why there will be people moving on that one. So it should be strong to support the weight of concrete as well as people who are moving on that one. So the people who are moving, generally we call it as live load. Okay, the live load, the people who are moving, and dead load of concrete as well as its own self weight, so that formwork should be strong such that it should support the weight of concrete, that is dead load, and weight of its members itself, that is also dead load, and the people or laborers who are more moving on that one, those are called as live load. So it should be strong enough to withstand that one. Okay, and it should be light. Okay, that is very common thing. The formwork, the surface of the formwork, it should be very smooth, and it should be easily stripped. Okay, stripping should not be very very difficult, and whatever the loads are coming, the deflection should be minimum. The deflection, it should not get deflected. Okay, it should be light, its deflection should be minimum, inner surface should be smooth, stripping should be very easy. These are some of the requirements of good farmer. Okay, so in the formwork, what they have given, Indian standard on formwork. So there is a code book called as IS 456, IS 456. The edition is 2000, but now 2010 is also there. Okay. Now Indian standard code book is given some provisions, is given some clauses regarding formwork. What are the clauses they have given? Just go through this one, just for additional information. General. General means what? The formwork should be in good shape and in good line, and it should have correct dimensions of the work. That is the first point. Only this is sufficient. General means the formwork should be in correct shape and correct lines and correct dimensions, and it should be rigid. It should be rigid. This is also one of the requirement already that we have studied here. Okay. Now, before before fixing the formwork, what should be done? It should be cleaned. It should be cleaned, and treatment should be given. For what reason? If any chippings are there, shavings are there, sawdust is there, any already sticked material should be removed. It should be removed. So interior of the formwork should be very very smooth and free from all the dust particles, free from all the dust particle. So first is general, second is cleaning and treatment. That means it should be cleaned and given treatment to remove all the things. Okay, so like that it is given. Third is very very important. What do you mean by stripping time? What is this stripping time? The time stripping time means the time after the formwork is removed. After the formwork is removed. So how they have given the timings of stripping time for different things? You have understood, no? When it should be removed, the after that inside concrete is sufficiently strong, then only you should remove that formwork. But still here they have given some timings for the stripping time. For what this one? For walls they have given 48 hours. Means what? After 2 days you can remove. For slabs and all they have given 7 days. For beams and arches they have given 48 days. If length is less than 4.5, it will be for 7 days. If length is more than 4.5 meter, it will be 14 days. That means they have given like this. So stripping time for walls 2 days,